All right, you've heard us talking a lot about the Great Resignation here on Quick Take, and that's the name given to this massive spike in people quitting their jobs, especially in the US during the pandemic. But in big tech, the big resignation is an even bigger headache, and it comes amid growing backlash against Bay Area tech companies, which some say have grown too powerful. Derek Ting is CEO and co-founder of TextNow, a startup hoping to attract the very same people leaving big tech. Derek, welcome to Quick Take. Let's just start off with some background. What does your company do?
Yeah, so we're TextNow. We believe phone service should be affordable for everyone, whether you can afford it or not. So we make phone service free. And we make phone service free by providing a free app that you can download. And then we give you a 10-digit phone number where you could text and call for free through an ad-supported experience. So that's how we generate revenue. And then we're on track to do $100 million in revenue this year.
Wow, so you're not exactly a small player in this space, but as COVID has continued, we're seeing a lot of people leaving the Bay Area for mildly smaller companies, and one of them I would say is yours. What has been noticeable to you in that shift?
Yeah, so as we kind of approach this new normal, a lot of people just want clarity in their life. They want to know what to expect and how their job and their work will fit into their regular routine. So a lot of people just want clarity. Can they work from home? Can they work from another state? Can they can they keep their routine that they had from home that really worked well for them? And what we find is that the companies that are flexible, they tend to do a better job retaining the talent. And that's what we've done. Actually, even before COVID, we rolled out this thing called work best policy, which is everyone can work where they work best because we recognize everyone's different with different needs. Some people work better at home, some people work better in the office. So we're right before COVID, we kind of put the stake in the ground and say, hey, if you work best from home or from Hawaii, we're not going to stop you from doing that. So that's kind of what we've done, and it worked out really well for us.
Got it. So how are you hoping to lure in new talent?
So we operate in a principle or philosophy that we don't view our relationship with our employees as like a transactional relationship. We spend a lot of time building a long-term relationship with our employees. That means that we give them a lot of flexibility. We also recognize, sometimes they need time off and recharge. So what we've done too is during the summer, we introduced this thing called Summer Fridays, where every other Friday we gave the whole company Fridays off.
Yeah.
So things like that, where we just invest in the relationship with our employees.
And you have like an incentive program, correct?
Yeah, and then we just rolled out an incentive program where every anniversary you get something from us. So so we just rolled that out. It's been very, very popular. And one thing that we thought about as a company was one thing that gets overlooked a lot was in the tech industry is tenure and how valuable tenure is actually in the company. Because we put a lot into treating the employee, investing in a relationship with the employee, and also the employee over time gains a lot of institutional knowledge about the company.
Right.
And that's valuable to us. And we realize a lot of tech companies forget that in the calculation.
Well, it's hard, Derek, right? Because, we had a guest on yesterday who was explaining to me that the best way to make sure that you have lifelong highest earning potential possible is to hop around a lot. And I think in big tech, a lot of people do that so that they can get higher and higher salaries. I know you're offering these incentives like Summer Fridays and perks for staying in the company longer, but those things aren't necessarily new, right? So how do you kind of think about that?
I think they're not new, but I think it's just recognizing that there's value there that other companies haven't quite recognized the value there. And we realize by doing that, by putting the value on things that other people don't put a value on, we are more efficient at retaining employees. We're more efficient at dealing with turnover. And in turn, the business is more efficient, because if someone churns, it's going to cost the company way, 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 way more to hire someone new and then ramp them up to the same level that they
Yeah.
are at today.
So
So
you'd rather
that's kind of rationale.
retain. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, so last question for you. People who leave big tech companies or go to them rather are often wooed by the promise of an IPO that could make them rich. Is that something that you're hoping people would come to you for?
We're passionate about the problem of making phone service free for everyone, and we're passionate about delivering like awesome user experience, and that's what we want to recruit for. That's what we want to retain for, and that's what we think about every day. But at the same time, we recognize that at some point people want to realize their gains in investment, that in terms of time they put in the company, in terms of investors that put money in the company. So we're always looking at options, and when the time is right, that is definitely an option that we will consider out of an array of options, which we've in an unfortunate position to be able to do things when the time is right. So.
All right. I love it. A classic CEO answer. Derek Ting, TextNow CEO, thank you so much for joining us to discuss all things talent retention.